Welcome back to the Sampleist, everybody. My name's Greg. Today we're diving into an immense and breathtaking new release from Aetheria, Lacrimosa Ultra Epic Choir. This bundle features the massive Lacrimosa Pro, a 200-piece choir paired with the intimate Aetheria choir, which offers 16 professional opera singers. Together, they create a powerhouse of vocal versatility, perfect for composers who need both sheer power and the delicate control in their choir arrangements. With 6 microphone positions, mixed, deca, far, wide, spot 1 and spot 2, you have complete control over how your choir sits in the mix. Lacrimosa's true layered legato provides seamless, expressive melodies, while the advanced word phrase sequencer allows you to craft complex vocal phrases. And with deep sampled articulations, including legato, staccato, sustains and more, this choir is truly one of a kind. The download size for Lacrimosa Ultra clocks in at 70.8 gigabytes, and it requires the full version of Contact version 5.8.1 or later. A big thanks as always to Aetheria for providing Lacrimosa Ultra for today's review. As is always the case, Aetheria has had no input into the production of this video. Here at the Sampleist, we prioritise editorial independence to bring you unbiased opinions. Stick around as I walk through key features and demonstrate some incredible presets. And if you enjoy exploring virtual instruments like this, don't forget to like and subscribe for more. Now, let's get started. So to start today's video, I'm going to show you the difference in what you actually get with each of the original Lacrimosa Choir versus the Lacrimosa Pro and the Lacrimosa Ultra. I did find the way it was worded a little confusing, so hopefully this will help. If you are the owner of the original Lacrimosa, you get the original 200 voice choir, and it comes with 3 mics, as you can see there on the left, the mixed, the deca and the far. With the release of Lacrimosa Pro, it's the same 200 voice choir, but now you get 6 microphones, the original 3 being mixed, deca and far, but additionally a wide, spot 1 and spot 2. And then they decided to bundle up the Aetheria 16 voice choir together with Lacrimosa Pro to create Lacrimosa Ultra. So you still get the same 6 mics as Lacrimosa Pro, but you now get 2 choirs, being the Lacrimosa Pro and the Aetheria choir. So quite a powerhouse combination of those two together. So before we get into hearing some presets, a quick overview of how it's laid out, and I think it's quite important because it will help you navigate your way around. In the Aetheria choir component, you get a series of instruments that have legato, arcs, marcato, sustains, multivowels, staccato, effects, and non-tonal patches. You also get a series of male and female in the individual sections split out. Then referring down to the Lacrimosa Original, which we won't be talking about in depth today, but for the ease of consistency, it likewise has the same multi-patches and individual sections. And most importantly, the third part being Lacrimosa Pro likewise has the same set of patches and the individual sections. So this means that all 3 choirs are consistent with regards to all the articulations that are available. And that is most welcome. The difference for those who have Lacrimosa and Lacrimosa Pro in this bundle is primarily just around the microphones that are available. So in many respects, Lacrimosa Pro would supersede Lacrimosa. Okay, so with that out of the way, let's collapse the Aetheria and Lacrimosa Original, and let's just focus on the Lacrimosa Pro for the moment. This point here, I have taken the opportunity to load up the Lacrimosa Pro arcs. So I've started with the arcs because I personally find them the most sympathetic to the way a choir sings. They've got a lovely natural swell up to a peak and then they fade away. So for example, so that's not me using the mod wheel in any way to create the rise and fall. That's actually baked into the patch itself. Another tip I'd like to offer here too, if you have a sustain pedal, use that sustain pedal and ride it between each of your chord transitions. Unless you're a really astute keyboard player, of which I'm not, it just means it allows you to ease between the chords in a more seamless way. So for example, ride on the sustain. Gives you more fluid control. Let's have a quick look at the articulations. As you can see here, there's an articulation that starts in a P, being piano, to a mezzo forte, and then back down to piano, and that's the R articulation. E, M, or, and R. And you can obviously key switch between any of them that you want. The feature I really quite like is showing the sequencer. And the sequencer, as the name suggests, is you can create an articulation sequence that the engine cycles through. So if I were to do a generate and random, so this is now randomly put all these articulations, and I'll just play a sequence and you'll see how it switches as I move from one chord to the other. Oops, that last chord was a bit ropey, but there you get the idea. I really quite like that effect. Now, I'll show you a little later, but the Aetheria choir has exactly the same features, but it's just fundamentally a different choir, more intimate opera choir. Let's move up into the female register a little now. I'll click up an octave, and here's what we get. Piercingly beautiful, hovering up there in the clouds. Really, really gorgeous stuff. Now, I should actually point out, I should have said this at the start, but Lacrimosa Pro and Aetheria choirs are actually quite dry, so you will need to put your own reverb on. So I've actually got this going through a stock reverb plugin in Cubase that I use that has a hall setting, but I'm sure you'll have an available plugin of your choice too. So be sure to put that into your effects channel and it'll give you that lovely warmth reverb sound that we're so familiar with choirs. So with that, here's the R's. And you can try the E's. Lovely legatos there, smooth transitions like glass. So let's have a listen to the gens down in the lower register in legato. That's deep. So I'm using the mod wheel here, CC1, and there's also an expression CC11 that I'm using at the same time to create that legato swell. How low can it go? Down to that D. That's gorgeous. Let's have a listen to the Mikados, shall we? So the Mikados have a slight percussive note to the start of each articulation. So let's go to the mid-range. There's a percussive note. And with the ladies. Gorgeous, really piercing stuff, because those sounds, those voices really hover up in the heavens, don't they? This is a lovely patch. This one's called the multi-vowels. So as the name suggests, there's multiple vowels when you hit a chord. So in this one here, there are 3 vowels per chord play. So for example, I'll play a single G minor chord. So this allows you to create lovely interlocking staccato-like sounds, I find. It's also got a lot of velocity control too, so obviously quite quiet. 2, if you smash the keys, really, really comes out of the speakers. What else have we got there? This is a different one, but I'll show you where you can play the left hand, interlocking a little with the right. Really rich, powerful. Let's load up staccato. So staccato in the classic sense, choose your articulation. Again, the dynamics when you smash the keys. And you get a whole heap of vocals, articulations, O's and O's and D's and X's and Ho, of which you can obviously key switch between them. But likewise with the other articulations, with the arcs I showed earlier, you can create a sequence of them. And default, as you move through each of them, it comes up with... which likewise you can also create your own random sequence and shift them around and you get this sort of thing. Beautiful, very powerful. Some of the tools in this package, if you have the patience to sit there and tinker around with them, you can come up with some really, really nice stuff. A quick look at some of the effects you get. So these are non-tonal, things like whistles. There's breaths. And other effects such as laughing. Which you can also likewise put into a sequencer to create a little bit of random, I beg your pardon, number of articulations between. So quite powerful stuff. And finally, some non-tonal effects you also get. So all the breaths, but you can play it in a slow or normal speed, or the fast. But to bring it all back to where we started from with, say, the arcs as an example, the other features I'll quickly go through. The articulations we can see here, you can choose from the different effects that are standard effects that come with just about every 8DO product. And also you have the mixer that we referred to here. So this is where the magic is for the Pro version. So there's the mix, which is as the name suggests, a standard mix that controls all the mics, or you can control the Decca, the far, the wide, and the spot 1 and the spot 2 mics to your tastes. You can also load and save your own presets in that area. And finally, with the options, again, more control around the expression, the male and female maximum and minimums relative to each other. You can adjust the velocity curve on your keyboard to different velocities, whether it's an S curve or compressed curve. So lots of control there, but the master or the main features here, great control over the mics, over a really wide range of articulations available. So let's move on now over to the Aetheria Choir part of Lacrimosa Ultra. I will show you what the Aetheria Choir sounds like by showing you the arcs that I've just loaded up here. I will not go through all the articulations and all the patches. Suffice to say that they are exactly mirrored as they are in Lacrimosa Pro, with all the same mixer settings, the same microphones, the same articulations. It's just that this one is a choir of only 16 professional singers rather than the 200-piece epic choir of Lacrimosa Pro. So with that said, I've loaded up the arcs and I'm going to click onto the sequencer. I'll generate a random sequence of articulations, and now I will mute the mic and listen to the arcs. Let's bring it all together now, shall we? So I've written a short composition that uses the Aetheria Choir and Lacrimosa Pro, but I've also additionally added another 8DO product, that being Majestica, to provide some strings and percussion to give us a big epic sound. So let's have a listen to that now, and on the other side of that, I'll give you my final thoughts and we'll wrap up today's video. Now, turning to my final thoughts. Aetheria has extended an already classic epic choir to create Lacrimosa Ultra and to 10x it into something even bigger than what was thought possible, pairing up Lacrimosa Pro and Aetheria choir. I've always thought that one of Aetheria's strengths was the range of choirs they have, and Lacrimosa is, for my money, a great epic choir ready for any gladiatorial battle or intergalactic encounter. Its strength lies in its seamless transitions across a wide range of articulations, not least of which the multi-syllable word and phrase builders. I, for one, can easily while away a lazy 30 minutes just riding the sustain pedal with an arcs patch and let the swells of human harmony rise out of the nothingness. It's absolutely gorgeous. Although they work well together, both Aetheria and Lacrimosa Pro are significantly different enough to use on their own. Aetheria providing a more intimate, smaller choir that you can layer nicely into and let it come up against a backdrop of an epic 200-piece Lacrimosa choir if you so choose. The dynamic velocity range is great, giving a soft piano to a big double F forte, and the 6 microphones in the right hands can provide a massive amount of control in the mix and the placement of your choir. Always a welcome addition. And at its current sale price of $148, it's Black Friday for epic choir enthusiasts every day. I'd suggest exploring this offer if big, bold, epic choirs are your thing. And that wraps up today's video. Thanks for dropping by. If you made it this far, then show your commitment and love to the channel by smashing that like button and subscribing before you head out the door. Every new sub really does help us to reach other musicians and composers just like you and me. Hope you have a great day wherever you are in the world, and as always, get out there and find your sounds and find your soul. Till we meet on the next one, this is Greg Revell for the Sampleist signing off.